Let me introduce to you our guest in studio. One of my favorite MPs is Mohammed Bataglia. He is MP for Sisala East and a board member of the Tema Oil Refinery. He is in studio. Honorable, good morning to you. That's all as well. Solid. Okay. And then we also have been joined in studio by my Senyo Amekplemu, is a member of the communications team of the MPP. Senyo, good morning to you. I'm well. And then Appiah Danquah is a lawyer and the director of legal for the United Party. Good morning. The latest TV merchant in town. So anyway, let's start up with the OSP, the Private Members Bill, in the effort to scrap the Office of the Special Prosecutor. But the President is now ordering that process must be halted. And you're a lawyer. Help us with it. Then I'll go to the Member of Parliament to also help us, and then I'll bring you.
Yeah, so let me wish your viewers a good morning. Wish my honorable MP and my former party member.
Former party member.
Former party member. That acknowledgement is very important.
They say you have to come back home.
Okay, you come back home. Andrew will come back.
Where's home?
But why?
Home is UP.
Home is home. Andrew will come back.
Home is UP.
He'll come back home.
Home is UP, so they should come back home.
Okay.
Imagine Ted Fosso.
Andrew, you know Gabi, right? You know Gabi.
Gabi is very, very good. Gabi is
you know, Gabi is back home now. We've welcomed him.
No, Gabi.
So we are expecting you to also join Gabi.
So home is UP.
Home remain home.
Gabi has gone back home.
No, Gabi has straight. The point is that home is UP.
We are expecting you to join.
Gabi has straight like all of them have straight. Home is UP. They don't come back home.
Okay.
So, and I wish your lovely viewers a good morning. I think over the past few weeks, we've been inundated with discussions about the Office of the Special Prosecution. I think the discussions went into an overdrive after the unfortunate arrest of my friend Martin Pebu. And I think those acts has heightened calls by some sections of our Ghanaians for the scrapping of the Office of the Special Prosecutor. I've heard a number of arguments. Some have argued that because they have not been too useful, it should be scrapped. Personally, my view, and I think I also share the view of the United Party on the Office of the Special Prosecutor, whether it should be scrapped or not. Now, I want to give this background before I go into the purported interference of the President into the work of Parliament. My personal view is to stand by the problem the OSP sought to solve, as argued prior to the attempt to set it up. I think, in my personal view, we can't have a debate as to the need and the usefulness of having a body that is not colored in terms of partisanship. We're all politicians. Sometimes we shouldn't do politics. Everything is politics. Sure. But the issue is about the partisanship. Okay. But I don't think we can have an argument about the need to have a body that is not colored in terms of partisanship, that deals with issues that borders on corruption and corruption-related matters concerning public office holders. Personally, I stand by the need for us to have such a body. I think the issue the OSP has had since its inception is not necessarily because of a lack of usefulness of that body. I think one of the fundamental issues that we are having with the body is in terms of how it was set up. Because you have a situation where we claim that we want to create a body that is independent. And that independence is not just in terms of the partisan coloring, but it should be independence also because we don't want anybody to control that body. Yeah. But we have a constitution that says, under Article 88, that the body mandated to initiate all prosecutions is the Attorney General. Now, where you purport where you purport then to create an office which is meant beyond, for all intents and purposes, to be independent, not just in terms of its partisan coloring, but is meant to be independent in terms of of its operations, without amending Article 88 of the Constitution. Structurally puts that body in jeopardy.
Okay.
You get a picture. So our view is that, my view is that
fine. It was moving.
We should deal with the issues that is preventing the OSP from more or less being able to work in fulfillment of the problem we identified, and not necessarily scraping the body, because that would be a massive dent in our effort to fight against corruption.
Okay.
The solution is not to scrap it like a all shot, no. I think we need to deal with the structural issues that is holding the OSP back. That means that we should create a body that is constitutionally backed. You understand? So that if it means that we ought to amend Article 88 of the Constitution and then create the OSP by the Constitution, not just by an act of Parliament. You understand? So that it is truly independent.
Okay.
You get a picture. But also, the issue also is not just about the OSP, but the issue is also about our entire anti-corruption architecture.
I'll let you come to back. Now, help me appreciate this. If you look at the OSP Act itself, and you look at the mandate of the office, it says, okay, there's a point I saw that it has to, the suggestions or the direction for it to conduct investigation should be author. Okay, good, this is it. It says, subject to clause 4 of Article 88 of the Constitution, the office shall, for the purposes of this act, be authorized by the Attorney General to initiate and conduct the prosecution of corruption and corruption-related offences.
So can you then say that, in the light of this section, that the OSP is independent?
Yeah, so when I saw it, I was like, so does it mean all the investigations that it has done, it is the Attorney General that asked it to do? So then, what does this really mean? Help me understand.
It's simple. It's clear. You don't need any. Sometimes you make.
That the office, and this is a shall. So the shall is command. Is a command.
And so where you have, where we say that we want to create a body that is independent, and yet we are saying that body shall be authorized by the Attorney General. And does this solve the problem for why we wanted to create the OSP in the first place?
Exactly.
Because we're saying that because the Attorney General is a member of the executive, because that Attorney General is appointed by the executive, and most of it because they are also partisan, then they'll find it difficult prosecuting people belonging to their own parties. So let's create a body that is independent of this problem. And yet we create a body, a law that says that the OSP shall be authorized by the Attorney General. That is a problem.
And again, if you look at this has to do with functions of the office. 2A, right? Okay, yes. This is 2B. It says the office shall, within 30 days of A, conclusion of the prosecution of each case, or B, confiscation or realization of property under this act, submit a written report on the outcome of the case to the Attorney General.
Yes, so clearly we've created a body that is under the direction and authorization of the Attorney General.
But when it comes to operation, has the Attorney General really been directing the OSP? I've not heard it. That's why I was shocked when I saw it.
But this is what the law is saying. So it means that the problem for why we created this body was not solved. So once again, I've been saying this, that if there's one thing our politics is be dealt with, it's a fundamental lack of commitment. We just do things to represent things. You understand? Because nobody can convince me that the politicians we have, the kind of experience they have, and their legal knowledge, I'm not going to attack the competence of anybody. I think it's more of a commitment issue. Because if really our commitment was to create a body that was independent, then we had no reason not attempting to amend the Constitution.
Exactly.
And create a body whose authority is from the Constitution itself, not from the Attorney General. So we didn't solve any issue. But I'm saying that that problem is still there. That problem needs to be solved. And the solution is not just in we discarding
the office,
but rather we need to do it properly. You understand? 10 days' time, the President's Constitutional Review Committee will come out with the report. I hope that in that report, and amongst the clauses of the Constitution that we feel ought to be amended, Article 88 would be amended. Article 88 will be amended, and then we then create this Office of the Special Prosecutor from the Constitution itself. So that it's not under the authorization of the Attorney General. Never. Because right now you have a situation where, when it comes to the case of what's called Ken Ofori-Atta, that the issue where the OSP was claiming that he needed to do some what's called extradition. And we all know that you can't do extradition without where there's no charge in the first place.
Yeah.
Attorney General was asking the OSP, give me the document.
Yes.
So I can work. And that AG was claiming that for some months. He was asking for a document, and the document was not forthcoming. So
this then, negates the perception that the AG is influencing the OSP.
Per law, the law mandates the Attorney General to authorize the OSP. That's what he said. Per the law, the OSP acts under the authority of the Attorney General. So what I'm saying, so we didn't create an independent body. The OSP, per the law, per how they created, is not independent, and that's the problem. You understand? So because of this problem, the same issue about the AG, because they are partisan, not wanting to prosecute their partisan colleagues, was also solved. Okay. Because there's a question that I kept on asking. Let me just make this one. How come the OSP never had the courage to go after Ken Ofori-Atta when Nana-Addo was still in power, and only started making noise about Ken Ofori-Atta after Nana-Addo had left power?
What do you think? What are you trying to say?
What I'm trying to say is that because the OSP acts on the authorization of the AG.
But I asked a question earlier on, fundamentally, that with all the prosecutions that the OSP has done, have we seen the AG instructing him to do so?
But we want to know. How are we going to know?
No, but let's do the Issah Bataglia case. The Attorney General asked him to investigate.
But how has the Attorney General have to give us any report?
In all his report, he doesn't say the Attorney General.
But the law is telling you. It's not what the law, the act, and I'm glad yourself you read it to us. It's saying that the OSP does what? Subject to the OSP acts under the authority of the Attorney General. No, so. And I'm asking a fundamental question. That under a certain Attorney General, under a certain regime, the OSP never took steps to go after Ken Ofori-Atta and his cohorts. These are questions that these are issues that we ought to interrogate. How come that the OSP only started pursuing or gave us the impression that he was pursuing Ken Ofori-Atta after Nana-Addo left office? There are issues that we ought to interrogate. And I'm saying it's because of the structural weakness in how the OSP was created. You understand? And so the idea for me, the relevance of the idea of creating such an environment still exists in my view, if we are really committed in fighting against corruption. And I'm saying that instead of discarding the entire issue, the entire idea, let's do it properly.
Okay.
Let
me bring in Mohammed Bataglia.
I didn't talk about the president's issue.
Then do it quickly. Let me move on.
I'm glad our MP is here. Now, we all know that usually when we want to pass laws, it starts by the executive most of the time. Yes. Drafting and sending to Parliament or the private members. So I've been saying that, because the argument I'm hearing is that because the president has shared his opinion and saying that, listen, don't toe the line you want to toe and so he's interfering. No, because then the point that if we have a regime where almost all the laws are initiated by the executive, now you're going to say that the executive then influences how Parliament works. You understand? Because private members of parliament have made it clear that this is the step we want to take. What is wrong if the president airs his view? That, listen, I think that the step you want to take is not the right step. Okay. And so I'm advising you. He's not ordering them.
Okay.
I'm advising you put a break to it. Why are we making always, we all like the drama. We seem to like the drama of the politics. But I think what the president has done, for me, rather, should be commended.
Okay.
Because he's not ordered anybody. He's just aired his view like every Ghanaian can air his view.
I'm grateful,
I don't
Andrew.
think this step you are taking will inure to the benefit.
I'm grateful, Andrew. Well, but Bataglia, as members of parliament, if you want to take an action in the House and the president says, well, put a stop to it, it doesn't make you feel that independence that you have, if there's anything you need to run by the president or the executive, doesn't that come to you?
Not at all. Kojo, before I say anything, let me first use this opportunity to say a very good morning to your cherished viewers, most especially the people of Sisala East. Anytime we are here, we remember them. It's for them we are here. And a very good morning to my brothers. We have Prof, lawyer, and my friend who is going through very difficult times now. Kojo, I think that before I answer your questions, we might always have it in mind that happenings will always determine what we do at one point in time. Prior to 2016 election, the perceptions of corruption had become so topical to the extent that we even created songs in this country about Woyomi, the bus branding, and all that. I think that when NDC lost the election in 2016, the first thing that the government then envisaged was to create an office or an agency that would independently deal with corruption-related issues. Hence, the creation of the OSP's office as per Act 959. But like my brother lawyer said, clearly the office must have derived its mandate from a source. And unfortunately, on that particular agency, the Constitution mandated the office of the Attorney General with that power. And even as per clause, Article 88, Clause 3 and 4, if you read it, you clearly see that the only institution mandated per Constitution, because the Attorney General's office is a creation of the Constitution, is the Attorney General that will initiate and prosecute. And even Article Clause 4 is saying that where the Attorney General deems fit, then will authorize. And that is why in creating that act, they don't want to, they are trying to close a lacuna, said that it doesn't mean that you are hanging there without knowing where you are drawing your source. At the same time, they are painting you to make you look as if you are independent. That's where the difficulty is. So you see today, many people who are challenging are saying that the actual creation of this office is a duplication of efforts, of roles. Yeah. That is creating conflict. People are arguing that. Coupled with the fact that we were dealing with, maybe as a photo, we were dealing with a Wyoming, which were just about $58 million. We're talking about bus branding, 3.6 million Ghana cedis, and those things. Today, after the creation of this office, we are now dealing with what? A national service, that is about 2.4 billion. We are dealing with what? Cathedral. We are dealing with buffer stock. We are dealing with many other things, like even we are talking about what? A scholarship secretariat. Many more corruption-related issues have even emerged. The XML is the West now. And that has been the topical thing today. So people are saying, if indeed this office was created to serve as a deterrent to corruption, it appears as if it's rather a motivation to corruption. That is why people are pushing for the fact that then it doesn't serve the purpose that we wanted. And my brother lawyer made a very good point. Where was the balls of what? OSP. When President Nado was in office, the one who could have faced them was Martin Amidu. Unfortunately, they took him up before even the time.
He resigned.
Let me say, he went, you know what it was? He was the one who would not keep quiet. He would definitely fight anybody, even within the NDC. They actually picked Martin Amidu because they saw that even within his own party, he did this. The history is there for us to learn. We don't run away. Let's not play the ostrich.
So you're saying they pushed him out?
Yeah, of course, you know, to the extent that he described the then president as the modus operandi of corruption, he wrote several epistles. You read them a lot. Why are we running away from the facts? Then came a Kisi Ajabi. Now everybody is saying that yes, all that we are seeing is like a gimmick. You are not giving we are not seeing the real action apart from the talks. Then many people started calling for the relevance of that office. Even the speaker at a point waded into the argument. We know Hamza Suhine Nku, they were calling, a lot of people are calling. Then the president came and said, no. Looking at Ernst, I still think that it's premature for us to talk about scrapping the office. Let's see how we can strengthen our institutions to work. But the question is not about changing the nomenclature. It's about how independent would that body be. As much as we cannot make that body so independent, it becomes an issue. In that case, having given this opinion and direction, because everybody thought that, yes, the petitions come in to take off, it's just like, it's a scheme by these people to take him off, to bring their own. The president saying, no, let's not look at that from, like, the office is still very relevant for now. Let's see how we can strengthen it. By then, our leaders, let me say so, Honorable Ayerega and then Honorable Adafemokpo, also went through a private members' bill in the same pursuit. And he said, no, looking at the things, let's not divert the attention. Let's focus on making sure that we strengthen the institutions. So I am requesting, it's even a request made to them, it's not an order. Because normally, like he said, bills will come under the executive fiat. Because you bring bills through the ministry on behalf of the president. Now individuals felt that no, there's something that they have to fight for. But those individuals are not far from the president himself because we are running the system. And if the president is sending a request to them that, oh, for now, let's look at how we can make the system better for us, instead of just scrapping it totally. I think that is the right call. I don't see that as like political interference and anything. I don't see that clearly. But even if you look at those who are saying that, clearly you could see that it's just, once again, the political optics or the we all want to play. Sometimes the drama. I was laughing at my leader on the other side, Leader Habib, when he said that the president is now interfering with what? Issues of parliament, the legislature, and I don't think clearly that was the issue. The president is only giving a direction that we should hasten slowly. Said that we'll make sure that we don't scrap, we brought something. If there's a fundamental issue, let's look into the root cause of it, how we can tweak the law. Fortunately, I think that if we have a way of making it a constitutional body, said that it will stand on its own, if the office of that person is guaranteed, the person can do without any strength from the executive or even the legislature, I am sure we will have a team that will to make corruption less attractive in this country. Otherwise, we all know, to the extent that the Siraj even came out with a report that we lose up to $3 million annually, $3 billion annually in this country. Once we go to our donors with cap in hand begging for just 100 million to come and solve our agricultural problem, it's an embarrassment to us. We are all trying to create a system. And if the system that we are putting will be something that will resolve the challenges that we are facing, said that we can solve the perennial issues that we face at the hospital, the water that we don't have, the food that we are trying to secure for our future, the kind of education we want to model for our own children, I think that's what we should be pushing for. And for me, I think that the president has given an indication that, yes, you don't just jump into acting because people are saying so. Study the issues, reflect over it, see how you can, where you can make it better. Okay. If the opportunity comes, then we all run as a country.
Okay, all right, thank you very much. So that's Bataglia there. Let me bring in Amekplemu now. Where do you stand on this?
Well, thank you very much, Kodio. First of all, let me use the opportunity to greet the party leadership and also my people from the Volta region who are watching us this morning. In fact, this whole brouhaha regarding the OSP is a very funny issue because I was a bit worried when I realized that the majority leader and then the majority chief whip is the one who are actually initiating this whole private member bill process. It became a bit of a funny thing to me. But the first thing I asked myself is, what's the cause root of this whole thing? The cause root of what is happening is as a result of the fact that there is a man who is a darling boy who has been touched. And for that matter, as a result of that, all of a sudden there's a renaissance for the call to scrap off the office of the OSP. There's a renaissance that the OSP is underperforming. There's a renaissance that the OSP is that, the OSP is this. But my question is that, should that be the remedy to what we are saying in terms of if the OSP is underperforming as people claim it to be? If the OSP is not performing well, what is the fear of the majority leader and then Honorable Roxanne Amekplemu? Now, all that has played within the few days we have seen, I'm going to give you a scenario. You realize that on the day that the private member bill leaked out, that same day, the president made a statement that scrapping off the OSP's office was a premature ejaculation or whatever. Then on that same day, there was a private citizen who also sued the AG. So I asked myself, what is happening? But as a student of politics and a student of governance, when you connect the dots, it seems to me that it's a coordinated effort from the top. There is something in governance called agenda setting. You set a certain agenda to test the pulse of the people. So for me, the remedy that the president quickly tried to, play by saying that he's ordering them to, withdraw the bill.
Not order.
For me, I see it as a knee-jerk reaction as a result of the public backlash that was coming because they could not contain it. Why am I saying this? I'm saying this because if you want to test the pulse of the people, you ought to put something in the media space to see the reactions that will come out. And that was exactly how the whole thing started from Martin Pebu. Okay, Mahama Yariga, who is the majority leader from parliament, said all of a sudden, no, we are not seeing the usefulness of OSP, the speaker emboldened it. Then, as a result, it gave them some sort of power. Let's put in a private member bill. They did that. Some people also feel that, okay, let's use a private individual who happens to be a member from the deputy AG's, law firm. And it's so funny. Like I said, it's a funny battle that they seem to push. And as it stands now, they are trying to withdraw by using the president. But when you ask me, the question I'll put across is that where lies in the NDC's ideal of probity and accountability, where today they are running away from their own ideals in terms of probity and accountability. I'm asking this again, or I'm saying this again because what is the fear from the politicians?
Okay, all right.
What is the fear? Why are we so scared of the OSP? And for me, when you ask me, I see the OSP's office as the only hope that seems to be very resolute in fighting corruption, and people feel that it is the only animal that wants to kill the devil called corruption. And for that matter, the NDC led by Mahama Yariga is on a certain trajectory to actually kill the office of the OSP within a second.
The president says they should hold on, so I'm not sure they will kill it.
So, but you see, I am saying that it's not about the president saying that, oh, they should withdraw it. If you look at the scenarios that I've put across, it's a coordinated effort.
Okay.
Let us not belittle what is going on. Let us not belittle it because a lot is happening that the entire NDC party, they are coordinating things just to make sure that this whole thing works. Okay. But it is failing, and for that matter, they are resorting to, let's withdraw it because we have a certain goodwill. We need to maintain that goodwill. Okay. But that is not a posture.
Okay, all right. Thank you.
That is not a posture. You get it?
Let me bring in Professor Boadi. Prof, from where the president is the first gentleman of the land, right? Comfort Doyo spoke to us, that will be played on Pulse today, and she said what the president said, what he sees, The two MPs may not see them. So was the president wrong to have suggested to them that, look, hold your guns. We don't have to repeal that particular office?
Yeah, good morning, and good morning to your colleagues, my colleagues, and your viewers. Just to react quickly to your question, it's not wrong for a president of a country to issue an order like that. It's not the first time.
They say it's not an order, it was a request.
Well, Ghana, we have so many ways of, when a person speaks, we have so many ways of adding more meaning to that. But whether a request or an order is not the first time. And it won't be the last time as well. Mm-hmm. So there's nothing wrong if we receive such an order. But I see executive influence versus parliamentary independence. That's what I'm seeing here. Mm. In terms of the constitution that we have, it gives parliament to legislate. So any order from the president will appear that there's an order. That's all that we are talking about. But let's situate the issues carefully. I'm not comfortable when I talk about OSP-related matters. I said it on your platform and several other platforms as well, because we then allow those who are perpetrating crime and the rest free. We sit here, we fight. An institution established to fight the canker. What do we get at the end of the day? So I'm not comfortable. I've also been on record to have said we should not rush to abolish this, the OSP, the setup. Well, was created to fight corruption-related matters. And that is what we have. Sometimes, a word OSP, you shudder. You sit up. OSP is coming after you. You sit up. So there's nothing wrong. But I'm looking at the intention of the elsewhere administration and the administration of this NDC before and after the elections. The elsewhere administration decided to set up OSP office to fight against corruption-related matters. Left the administration. When this administration took over, before they took over, you know, they've drummed home a lot of issues, support for the OSP. And they said several times that they were going to fight corruption head on. When they won the election, they set up ORA. So I was very happy. And after months of the administration, the champions supported the same setup. One person was arrested. It changes the entire story. That we don't need this administration anymore. Well, if it's about inability of the OSP to give an outcome of cases, that is fine. We can look at that. If it's about bail conditions that we are talking about, we can do that. If it's about asset declaration and the rest, yes, we can discuss it. But the entire scrapping that setup off, for me, I will not support. What can we do to strengthen this whole OSP matter? What can we do? And that's where we find ourselves at this moment. We should also be careful whether the president requested or ordered. If they withdraw, is the intention of this administration to use a court system to scrap it off? That's a question we need to ask. What will be the next level? So I don't know the intention of this administration, why they should scrap it, they should withdraw the PMB. I don't know. But I don't want to see an attempt of this administration to use the court process again to scrap it off. That's
the OSP?
Yes, that's what I'm thinking.
They've said, the president has said it's premature to scrap it, so I'm not sure they will.
You said?
I'm not sure they will.
We are here. And sometimes this administration becomes so, you can predict what they can do the next stage. That's what I've seen. You watch. We are talking about independent of the same OSP. So NDC did not know years ago that they were not properly set up. They didn't have the independence. It's today that we are talking about the fact that, yes, there's a body that must be, they don't have independence, they should have it. I don't know. But the point is that years ago, it was a good setup for you. The OSP office was good. After one person was touched, which I didn't like the way the man was handled. I didn't like, I've said this several times. But the point is that we must not use this avenue to scrap this setup off. No, it shouldn't be. And must not use the court process also as well.
Grateful to you, Professor Boadi. Let's come to...
Yes, I'm not reacting to... The Prof made a point about NDC didn't know.
If you do that, they all will say they want a rebuttal.
Yeah, because I have so much to say.
So let's hold our guns.
I wanted to say that even when
we don't have too much time.
When the act was passed, there was a full statement by the then leader, Haruna Iddrisu, and he alluded to all these issues regarding, number one, where the OSP's office will be drawing its authority from. Raising issues of that prerogative given to the Attorney General's office as per the Constitution.
No, but you rightly said, that the Constitution mandates the Attorney General. And we knew when this OSP law was being drafted or was being debated in Parliament, we were told that the powers he was getting his powers from the Attorney General. That's that time Gloria Akufo was the Attorney General. She was ceding some of the power.
When they were
but she ceded some of the authority.
No, she didn't cede any authority. Yes. So what's the law? So the OSP is like an agent of the Attorney General.
Exactly.
And you see.
No, but you are a lawyer.
Yes.
There's a law. And there's how the operation is done. Not so.
No, but you
I know. The law is there. ABC. But when it comes to practice, since the office was established, have we had the Attorney General directing the OSP?
That's why I give you one example. You see, I'm concerned that in the issue of Ofori-Atta, because it's the Attorney General that authorizes.
But why aren't you citing the issue of Cecilia Dapaah?
I can also cite that, but at the end of the day, in fact, today I didn't want to be to apportion blame. But this is a clear case of Nana Dadai. This is a clear case of Nana Dadai. Because you come down. Yes.
In this country, what is Nana Dadai?
Okay, so are you going to give me time?
No, I can't give you time.
No, give me time to explain.
I don't have
2 minutes.
I don't have enough. I'll just give you
the president said,
then we also have it.
Then he will also have it.
No, then we'll have it.
I'll have it.
The president, who when he was being sworn into power, said that he was going to protect the public.
Yes.
And made an argument why we need the OSP to fight corruption. And one of the cardinal arguments was about the independence of such a body. So where you've made this argument and so you wanted to create a body that was independent so that they can fight corruption. Then you create this body and says that this same body will glean its authority. So it means that if the attorney general says that I'm not giving authority to pursue this person, would the OSP have the legal powers to then go after that person?
No, but I ask you a critical question about practice.
Yeah.
So, I mean, put the law mandates.
No, you can't put the law aside. Put the law aside.
No, hold on.
So, okay.
The law tells the office how to run, right?
Yeah.
And then the office has been in operation for 8 years.
Yeah.
Not so.
Yeah.
We've seen how the office has run.
Yes.
And I'm asking,
when
one single instance, have we seen the OSP chase somebody based on the recommendation by the Attorney General?
No, so the presumption is that when the OSP goes after anybody, the presumption, the law is that is the Attorney General that has authorized the OSP to go after the person. Exactly. That's the presumption. You understand? So, and that's what I'm saying that, based on that presumption.
So the Attorney General presume.
That's what the law says.
Is the one who asked that they should chase Kevin Ofori-Atta.
Listen.
Yes, the presumption.
Yes, because even in the Cecilia Dapaah case, the president gave a letter that said that Cecilia Dapaah step aside. I'm saying that in the major issue of Ken Ofori-Atta, for whatever reason, the OSP did not have the cojones to go after Ken Ofori-Atta when another was in power. And immediately another goes out, the OSP comes, and even there, and even in the case of Ken Ofori-Atta, the OSP was playing with us until we started giving the OSP pressure.
But did you hear, hold on, by same argument, did you hear the Attorney General in this government? Dr. Dominic Ayine. Ordering the OSP to go on. I'm saying that it is presumption because the law is the law. What does the law say? No, what does the law say? The law says that the OSP will act under the authority of the Attorney General. So if the OSP goes after somebody, what does it mean?
It's a presumption.
No, what does it mean? The point that we wanted a body that did not need the authority of anybody.
Okay.
to fight corruption. Yet Nana died because he created a body.
Nana has not died.
He created a law that says that's to place prosecution or the ability to fight corruption. And then the authority of the Attorney General.
Let me ask Andre.
Example. Were you aware? I'm coming. Were you aware about
Let me ask Andre a question. Since when did
you ask me a question so I can answer?
Yes.
Yes.
Since when did you?
I am directing the.
That's fine.
No, he says
no.
I'm asking this question. No question is not rhetoric. You should be asking.
I'm asking this based on the fact that he said Nana died. Since when did they realize that?
Listen, fortunately, I was meeting.
Since when did you realize that?
But when I was in MPP, Isaac, I was with you, and I called another FM judgment. Not so. I was with you on the set. At that time, I had not left the MPP. Not so.
All right, thank you very much.
Not so.
Thank you very much.
Could you read the clause 3?
So please don't go there.
Relax.
Don't go there.
Relax.
Article 88.
I was with you on the show.
Clause 3 and 4.
I was in MPP. I called another from last week.
Your
His energy is high.
you're here today.
Not because another died. Let's accept it.
Nana is not
Another protect public press. You come and do this sham, and under your watch, NSS, 2.2 billion. Yes. Under your watch, what's called Signal Bureau. Under your watch, SML.
Yes.
And Boundary said that he helped the people to come to power, and because of that, people have gotten money. Come. And we have and they say Nana hasn't done that. He's done that.
That is why the office is there to go after them. That is why the office is there to go after them.
But how
the office to go after them?
But the office was under the authority of the Attorney General. The office was under the authority of the Attorney General. The Attorney General said that don't go after them.
When did the AG say that? When did the AG say that?
Where's the law? Where's the law? Open the law.
When did the AG say that?
Open the law. Open the law.
When did the AG say that?
Open the law.
No.
Open the law.
Let's not sit on this.
Open the law.
Open the law, please.
Open the law.
When did they say that?
Open the law.
Let's move on. We're not going on this. Let's move on. The way Appiah, no, hold on. The way Appiah is hitting, we may need a fire service. So let me.
We don't need fire service. We don't need fire service. We don't need fire service.
The law, Article 88, which is the office of the Attorney General.
Close to me. One is me.
Gentlemen, please listen. The Attorney General shall, a command, be responsible for the initiation and conduct of all prosecutions of criminal offences. 4. All offences prosecuted in the name of the Republic of Ghana shall be at the suit of the Attorney General or any other person authorized by him in accordance with any law.
Yes.
So this is so the law mandates that there's a special prosecutor.
No. But that is acting under the authority of the Attorney General, and that's exactly what we want.
So the president can also ask
No. You see, the Attorney General is
let's move on. Let's move on.
Where from this General of the Sunday? Where from this General of the Sunday?
Gentlemen, are you listening to me?
Yeah, we are listening to you.
The Speaker will call House to order. Let me call the House to order now.
Yes.